Yes, here we are again discussing in cycles fuel subsidies, palliatives, labor, strike, and all such. But there's a new day. NINAS will now address the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and all of those perhaps civil society people that will have been collaborating with them in strikes and protests. While we wait for 30 days in which miracles will happen, can we dress back and put on our thinking caps a cause-effect analysis of what we are dealing with, so that we can understand what our options really are, other than the noise that has characterized all of these cycles of the same old subject, while the tap is left on. What is the tap in the circumstance? Where is this stock of subsidy coming from that has already been restored? The subsidy that never went anywhere. And if we're even discussing subsidy, what is subsidy in the circumstance? Who is subsidizing who? Because subsidy is supposed to mean taken from somewhere to make up for the one who may have difficulty paying in full. We have 3 million barrels of crude oil being sold out every day that belong to the people of Nigeria, except if the government is now telling us that it belongs to them exclusively. But if it belongs to the people of Nigeria, yes, we get to the question of who among the people of Nigeria that own it first, because it belongs to Nigeria, because the place it's taken from is still, a part of the Nigerian. There are layers of questions, but let us even just take it from the middle, that it is being sold on our behalf. We should have been refining what we need to use. We didn't say they should not sell. We could actually refine all and sell as finished product. We will be making no less than 20 times what we are making from crude now, if we were to say, look, we are not exporting any crude, like some countries are doing. I don't think the US sells any crude. They refine their products and they export. The ones that the part of those, part of what they refine, which they don't need to use at home, they export. And they give them a lot of value added. So for every 1 barrel of crude oil you sell for maybe $100, whoever refines it is likely to get $2,000 off it, because every one of the products refined from it is likely to pay for the crude. You're going to get petrol, you're going to get Jet A, the one they use for aircraft, you're going to get diesel, you're going to get all kinds of byproducts. Then even the what would have been the waste product is still something that, as you continue to refine, you're going to get, the plastic industry, the petrochemicals. What are the things that come from there? You begin to talk about fertilizer, but we choose to go to sell just the crude. And so the question of subsidy is actually paying for the inefficiencies and corruption that we impose on ourselves by the constitutional arrangement that put refineries on the exclusive list. Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and all of those who might be planning to protest the hardship that had come upon them on account of so-called withdrawal of fuel subsidy. If we were to dress back from the commotion to ask ourselves, how did we come to where we are now even importing? Because it is in the importation that we now have to pay for products in dollars, the finished product. Having sold our crude, unrefined, we now buy refined product in dollars, whereas our naira is being pressured on account of having to pay for products that we are buying in dollars. The people who are going to use the petrol in Nigeria are paying naira at the pump. So if you got a billion naira from selling at the pump, the dollar you have to pay to bring the next product has gone from the 400 that this administration met to the over 1,000 that we see now. And so it's gone more than 2-3 times the price in terms of what quantum of dollar you can get with the naira, because the end users are paying in naira in Nigeria. So it is that, you know, the gap between what it should have been and what it is that is now to be made up. How did the naira travel from where Jonathan left it to where it is now? That constitution that locks down the capacity for anything good, all the developmental control, all the powers required to drive development are taken away by the constitution that confiscates it for the federal government, refineries being one of them. If electricity was stable, there will be manufacturing going on, and there will be employment, you know, all kinds of things. But Nigerian Labour Congress, the palliatives that you are debating, how many people are on that government payroll that will now take 25 or 35,000? What of the rest of the population? Who is going to pay them even that paltry 25 and 30,000 naira? Or don't they belong here anymore? Why are we discussing the palliative? Is supposed to, if it is necessary to do something and it's going to bring hardship, palliative is what you put in place, like somebody who has to be, who must, maybe a house is in danger, maybe it's on fire or there's danger, for which you have to jump down from 10th floor, for instance. Palliative is so that the fall will not be hard, will not cause injury. And so if people have to put foam or some kind of tarpaulin, you know how it is that people who do, you know, poll votes, so anything that takes you up into the sky and brings you to the ground, you know, you have to put the landing, the palliative is so that the fall will not cause damage. If that fall, if that plunge must be taken. So you put it in place before you push. But Nigeria, where everything is upside down, they push you first, you land on concrete as we speak. Between the time on May 29th, when the subsidy removal announcement was made, and now, those for whom palliative is being discussed, many have died. Because from that very day, people who had petrol to sell held back and began to sell at almost double the prices. Before we knew it, triple the prices. And so the damage that will have been, you know, minimized or ameliorated by subsidy, it's already being done. There are many small-scale businesses, the SMEs, that have folded up because they were managing to keep their nose above water before the so-called withdrawal of subsidy. And so the petrol they have to buy every day, or diesel to run their generators to keep the businesses going, they have to just stop. More than 4 million businesses in the first 2 months had to close down. Small businesses that employ 3, 4, 5, 10 people, which is supposed to be the bedrock of a society like ours. And so the Labour Congress, is this not time to elevate your discussion from palliative that is meant for only you, while 95% of the populace remain unrepresented in that debate and discussion? Is it not time to elevate that discussion to asking, why are we importing That is where you see the Constitution of Nigeria is the reason that petroleum products are not available, are not going to be available as long as that Constitution is standing. Is it not time that Labour Congress and Union Congress finds the courage to join in that discussion about the Constitution that is the source of the problem? The misery that is tormenting you is coming from that Constitution. Why do you not have the courage to join those who already laid out the case? Why can't it be the demand of the Labour Congress that that Constitution that is the source of these problems will have to be taken down? Why is Nigerian Labour Congress afraid to say that the Constitution is the source of the problems? Because the corruption we see, the cost of governance we see, that takes all the money, the infrastructure we see. I'm sure many of us saw the video from Cocoa Junction, wherever, that the tanker, a petrol tanker fire consumed. They haven't been able to reckon the numbers. We hear figures range from 100 to 200 dead. Only yesterday in Port Harcourt, again, so-called illegal refinery, where young people have been pushed out of everything, now trying to refine and sell whatever quantities of crude they get by whatever means. There was an explosion. 35 plus died on the spot. The other ones are half dead in various hospitals. Even the ones that have injury are running away from law enforcement that may now come to grab them. In a space of less than 1 week, we've had this type of disasters coming only from the fact that the roads are the way they are, that the refining infrastructure is the way it is, all of them coming from the Constitution. Nigerian Labour Congress, is it not time to join that discussion? When will it be discussed? Or who is going to take you out of the misery you and your members are plugged into by that Constitution? Everything you complain about. And have you become our martyrs? Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, have you become our martyrs to be waiting for handouts that will come for 3 months or 6 months and then it ceases? Or how long shall we be? From the time of Shomole Adams was going, how many times did they increase petroleum product prices? Because we were not refining. How many times did it happen when Oshomole was Labour president? The same cycle. Oh, we remove, we bring back. It increase, it comes down. Like that. That's what we've been doing across the last 20 years. Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, is openly inviting the Labour Congress, the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress into this discussion of, let us stop this mess. Let's stop this self-deceit of trying to build on a constitution that guarantees the outcomes we are crying about. That is the tap from which all these evils flow. NINAS openly invites the leadership and membership of TUC and Labour Congress, NLC, to come forward so that we can all insist that this constitution cannot remain the basis of our union, cannot remain the basis of our democracy, cannot remain the basis of our economy, because it makes everything you call economy impossible. The economic assets are detained from the owners. Those who could have been adding value to it are no longer the owners under that constitution on the exclusive list. What is there in refining if not for the constitutional impediment of exclusive list? Then you license one individual in monopoly. More than $3 billion was taken from the back door between Emefiele, who was boasting at the Decommissioning. So, hey, we could do it. You take $3 billion and hand over to one person to go and add to his business on behalf of all of us. Who authorized that taking of that money? $3 billion. Who authorized the allocation of 300,000 barrels per day to that individual to go and refine for us? Why can't why can't that impediment, that general shackle be removed so that the the hundreds or thousands of people who have the capacity to refine can move in and begin to do. There's no other solution to the question of availability of petroleum product. There will be no other solution to the question of subsidy. Have they not restored the subsidy now even more than if they were paying a difference when it was when petrol was still 180 or 185? What difference is now being paid from the time they first withdrew the subsidies to now? So they're paying more now. Where will you find the money to do any other thing? Why won't Nigeria become the permanent poverty capital of the world? And what is the Nigerian Labour Congress and all the other trade union people who are suffering from this madness? What are they doing? They are keeping away from the discussion and waiting for handouts. With all the education you have, with all the exposure you have, there will be no hiding place for anybody who is not already on the street, already in the task of taking down that constitution, together with the people who framed the arguments and the processes by which it can be done. I think there must be an end to this rigmarole. Except we want to deceive ourselves. But the situation is only going to get worse. Maybe when the pain increases to a certain temperature, sanity will come back to the heads of those who are, playing pranks with the lives of other people, playing games. Let us join hands and turn off the tap. That is what we need to do. Every other thing we are doing is in self-deceit and delusion. We stop here.